To sum up what we've seen through this course, first we looked into biology and we saw that horses are mammals. Why is it important? Because every mammal on planet Earth lands his foot on some sort of pads, not on his nails. Okay, so a horse is not supposed to load his nail and periphery. He's supposed to load his frog and sole, his central structures. That is extremely important. Secondly, we've seen that in physics, the function of a foot is to be a shock absorbing device. Okay, it absorbs the shock of the foot of a fairly large animal hitting the ground, okay, on a relatively small surface. That's why we compare the foot, and especially the back of the foot with the frog and digital cushion, we compare it to a pillow. Secondly, we've seen that a foot is the transition, the point of contact between an animal and its environment, and it is in constant adaptation to the environment and how much that animal is actually walking through that environment. In a third part, we looked into biomechanics, which is the science of the movement of a living body. Okay, and we have studied the landing of a healthy foot, so how a healthy horse, how a sound horse actually moves. Remember, the definition of soundness is an animal being comfortable at all gaits and on all surfaces. So what do we look for when we observe a horse moving? Well, 5 phases you remember: approach, initial impact, full load / balancing, breakover, and then flight. Okay, at a trot or going downhill, we want to see the toe raised up a split second before impact, so we know actually that the horse is comfortable landing heel first. Heel first, frog first, globe first, digital cushion first. So comfortable on the back of the foot. Going uphill, it is normal to see a horse actually landing toe first, and in most cases when a horse is walking, he might land flat. Okay, so what we really want to observe and pay attention to, especially before a trim, is the horse comfortable on the back of his foot? Is he actually landing at a trot or downhill directly on the back of his foot at the initial impact? Remember that if the digital cushion, the back of the foot, the frog are well developed, the horse is going to be comfortable landing on them. If they are not developed enough, your horse is not going to be sound. So how do we get to a healthy foot? How do we get to a horse being sound? 3 very important elements. We start with movement. Remember, no hoof, no horse. Yes. No frog, no hoof, no horse. That's closer to the truth. Then that means no digital cushion, no frog, no hoof, no horse. And how do we get to a healthy development of the digital cushion? Through movement, continuous movement, just like the foal in the wild that is being born and that starts using his feet from day 1 until his last day. So horses are meant to move, they are meant to hammer their feet as they walk, especially on hard surfaces. So what it means is that if we don't have movement, we're not gonna have a sound horse. Just like a muscle, it is either use it or lose it. If we want a horse on sound feet, comfortable on all surfaces, that horse has to move. Second extremely important dimension is the diet. If your horse is on an improper diet and if your horse is overweight, it is only a matter of time before you can see the negative consequences on his feet. Okay, and there is no amount of barefoot trimming that can solve a dietary problem. Okay, if you don't address the cause, it doesn't matter if you try to treat the symptoms, you're not gonna manage to do anything but limiting the damage. Grass and hay, a poor, diversified, constantly available diet. That is the optimum diet for a horse. If you go towards the other extreme, which is a diet low in fibers, high in carbs, meals, several meals a day, and always the same manufactured food, high in starch and sugar, your horse is not going to thrive. He's going to gain weight, and the consequences are going to be seen on his hoofs very quickly. These two are the most important dimensions that the horse owner should be taken care of, but there is one more that is extremely important as well, and that is hygiene. Remember the tools that are available, the products that you can use that are going to help your horse to have clean feet, preventing damage from bacteria, and in a lot of cases making the difference between a horse that is sound or unsound. Next, we've seen how a basic trim can be provided to a horse. It's exactly the same way that we will take care of our own feet or dog's feet. We leave the pads alone, so we don't touch the frog, we don't touch the sole, but we keep the nail nice and short, which means that we don't allow the wall of our hoof to overgrow and to basically get above the sole. We keep it nice and short at the level of the sole or right above, using a rasp to bring the wall down and to create a nice bevel all around, so there are no sharp edges and no separation. Last rule of the trimming: keep the toe short. If we allow a foot to migrate forward, same problem than before, we're going to have a lack of development of the back of the foot, and that's going to lead to a horse that might get unsound. So this is in a nutshell how you, the horse owner, can understand what is happening to your horse, can understand how adaptable and how important his hoofs are, and how you can, in very simple ways, have a holistic approach to your horse and do your best to maximize all these different elements and go towards a sound horse, to go from unhealthy, problematic feet towards a horse that is moving well and that is comfortable on his feet. This, I hope, can really help you and your horse to go towards soundness and to steer away from problems.